Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, and I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you are enjoying this show, you can also check out the Premiere Boys Podcast, hosted by myself, Aaron Tictok Sands, the Star Rider Rod, and Long Live Chief Mighty Mal, where we discuss everything that's going on in the culture, from love, relationships, music, sex, politics, and many more. We can make you laugh, but the show could get a little raunchy, and it may not be for everybody. But if you are curious to listen to the Premier Boy podcast, you can tune in to the Premier Boy podcast every Wednesdays at 12 a.m. or all podcast platforms, a part of the Premier Powerverse Network. Other shows that you can check out on the Premier Powerverse Network is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands every Friday at 12 p.m. Star Time Podcast hosted by the Star Rider Rod every Monday at 12 p.m. And Welcome to the Trilogy hosted by Long Live the Chief Mighty Mel every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Listen and support every show in the Premier Powerverse, including this show, Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, who is also a part of the Premier Powerverse Network. Thank you for listening to this message and check out the show. Chill! You are now listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 9. Chill! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, one fourth of the Premier Boys Podcast, your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome to another new episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Hope all is well. On the episode, we have a special guest. She is a returning guest. She is a journalist, a digital expert, speaker. She wears many hats. We got Miss Janie Ho back on the show, and we're going to talk to her about all things dating and many more. This was a really fun conversation. I can't wait for y'all to really check out this episode. And y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back.
This is Brownie Marie, founder of the Fox Hunters Club dating app, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. That is time. Time for Mr. Gentleman Facts, quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, do not give up on love. And I say this because even though things seem hard right now during the dating climate, do not give up on love because things will get better down the line. Go find that right person who will be all about you and not even going to think about anybody else. So no matter how hard things are right now, do not give up on love. And that is today, Mr. Gentleman Facts, quote of the day. Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, and I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. On Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, we interview many guests about their life journey, pretty much where they come from and where they at now. Also promoting their brands or whatever they're doing at the time they come on the show. We also have the host talk about personal stories about himself and everything that he's been through. And also we have fun conversation about anything music, anything old school, relationships, wrestling, and many more. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays at 12 a.m. We are also on every Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Spin-Off Series Thursdays, where we have all of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast spin-off series all in one day, where we have a conversation about music podcasts, every first Thursday at 12 a.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Riding Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursday at 12 a.m. And y'all can tune in to Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, The Pods, and many more. Or y'all can check it out on the official website of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlikethatpodcast.com, www.realmrgentlemanlikethatpodcast.com, and tune in every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. for Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in to this commercial break of Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Cheer!
My name is Janie Ho, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. And at this time, I got my special guest. She is a returning guest. She is a journalist. She is a news leader. She worked at Lincoln. She's a digital speaker, and she does many hats. She wears many hats. We got Miss Janie Ho back on the show. Janie, how are you doing?
Hi, Ken. I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and welcome back to Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast.
Oh, I'm happy to be back, and congratulations on your milestones and all your awards lately. It's really exciting.
Yes, thank you. It really means a lot. But before we dive into what we're going to talk about today, let me introduce yourself. Like, where are you from and all that good stuff?
I'm from Staten Island. That is a loaded answer. It's a borough of New York City. And it was actually just really made fun of Saturday Night Live last night. I don't know if you saw it. Pete Davidson came back and roasted Staten Island. So we're in the news today, and it's always never for anything good. But it's an interesting place. Yeah. I'm from Staten Island, but I am in Manhattan a lot. So.
Okay, good. And I haven't watched it. I was at work, so I couldn't watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
They can be funny on certain political clips, a few skits, and then Weekend Update. The rest of the skits, I feel like have not been good in so long, but it can be culturally relevant when they do hit it sometimes.
Yeah, agree. I mean, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in a minute, but that's true.
And that's why, because they're not that funny, which is sad. Because it's sad because they're the only show that can wield that much comedic power over culturally relevant issues. So it's just should be funnier.
I agree. It should. I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm actually
sorry, SNL. Okay, go ahead.
It's all right. But I'm gonna ask you some icebreaker question now. So we're going to ask this icebreaker question. Just so the audience could know who you are again. So they could really know who you are again. So, what is one thing that brings you peace?
So this is going to sound very boring. I have been at home for maybe 5 or 6 years since the pandemic. So I feel like the pandemic has been going on that long because we lost our office, and then I've just been home and a little more isolated in a suburb. So I just like going to the mall and being around people and going to Barnes and Noble and being around other solo people working on their computer. That's what we have in the suburbs. And then I do go to a really nice co-working space in the city sometimes. But yeah, I'm just very isolating. And there's articles about that everywhere. The age of loneliness and the loneliness epidemic. But yeah, so I like going to the mall and Barnes and Noble. That's my peace.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. We all need solo dates. Nothing wrong with that at all. Actually, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
GQ, actually, the editor-in-chief, he wrote a very good, you know how they write that letter in the opening cover page?
Yeah.
And he wrote a very good argument for why we should go to malls, like recently, because you try on new styles, you listen to music, the lighting is great. People do mall walking. Have you heard of that? It's a real thing. I mean, there's clubs, the malls actually advertise on it advertise it on their websites. And they tell you if you walk from one end to the other, it's 2 miles. Like there's no cars. It's temperature controlled. It's weather controlled. And there's bathrooms and food. So people do mall walking. It's, yeah. Anyway,
I never heard that.
I mean, when you think about it, it makes a lot of, there's no traffic. It's 2-3 miles if you go from end to end and, all 4 wings. And there's bathrooms and it's well lit and there's nobody in your way. People do it with weights. I see now that I know it's a thing, I see people do it with weights. So my other thing for peace is being around water, but we have a lot of water, but it's hard to get to the water. You have to go all the way over. So I'm too lazy to do that. So like the Hudson.
I mean, I agree with the water part because I do like to be a lot about the water, like go to the promenade and just clear my head over there. So yeah, so Brooklyn Bridge Park.
Oh, that's so nice. And that park is done like an upstate park. I mean, it's massive. Yeah. And they even had that bridge that goes from like the city over to the park. And the bridge used to absorb shock and it used to bounce. But I think people used to bounce a little too much on it, so they made it a normal concrete bridge. Did you see it when it was like it was the wood from like upstate and the way they make the bridge? I'm sorry, I'm going on so many tangents now, but it was a cool bridge. But did you see it when it was that when they first made it? It was the bridge that like bounces and absorbs the shock.
I think I did. It was a long time ago.
It was so cool. And that's how they are upstate in the parks, but they took it away because we can't have nice things in the city. I think we tried to break it. But yeah, Brooklyn Bridge Park. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, that's a like spot. Yeah. What is one place that you want to travel to that you have not traveled to yet?
Okay, so I'm from New York. I went to college in Boston. I went to Boston College. I lived in LA briefly after that, and I went all over Southern California, but I never went to Santa Barbara, which is like an hour north of LA. And it's so popular. There's like shuttles that go right from LAX to Santa Barbara. It's like the Spanish Riviera. So it's like a European vacation with vineyards. It's a walkable city. Katy Perry is from there. And I've never been, and I want to check it out for like 2 days. It's incredibly wealthy there. I think that's where like Ariana Grande, everybody lives there, and Montecito, which is walking distance. I do want to go there. I would also, my favorite vacation ever was an all-inclusive resort in the Bahamas. I went with my mom for Thanksgiving one year, and all-inclusive, it's really expensive now. It was not cheap then, but it was pretty cheap. They're so expensive now, which makes cruises a better alternative, but all-inclusive. Have you ever done an all-inclusive resort?
No, I wish. That's something I do need to do. I need to travel. I need to travel a lot more. A lot.
They're so. I mean, I think it's like $100 to $200 a night, which is worth it because it's gorgeous meals, like unlimited buffets all day long, room service, alcohol, your sports, your activities, entertainment, shows, all included. But now it's so expensive that you'd have to really make sure that you drink or like eat all the time there. Yeah. And the one other thing to know, I'm sorry, I'm going on so many tangents. The other thing to note is if you go into town, you feel like you're missing out because you already paid for all the food and drinks. So then you get an expensive meal in town, and like I just paid like $500 for the day. So yeah, but yes, the Bahamas or Jamaica. I've never been to Jamaica. So
nice. I mean, there's a lot of places I do want to go. You know, Paris, Barbados, Jamaica, a lot of places I want to go. So yeah.
If you go to Paris, I will tell you something. I took French for like 6 years, and I did go once. So it's pretty nice there. That's actually one of the best cities to go to because I didn't like a lot of cities in Europe, but because they're old is part of the charm, but some of them are so old. I do want to get back into like I don't know, some modernity. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, next one. What is your go-to food?
So I grew up in Staten Island, and I don't want to give away the joke if you didn't see the Pete Davidson thing, but he said Staten Island has so many good things. The pizza. And that was the joke because it was like he said it's on such a high note that you thought he was going to continue. And that was the only good thing about Staten Island. So I grew up on a lot of Italian food. I grew up working in Italian restaurants and Italian catering halls, some of the nicer ones. So spaghetti and meatballs, I think. I would say chicken parm with spaghetti, but I always get back to a health article where I read that chicken parm is like the worst thing you could eat because it's like deep fried and then smothered in cheese. There's so much salt. So it's everyone's favorite, but it's actually really bad. As if meatballs are so wonderful. I mean, it's like a lot of fat, but spaghetti meatballs and general Italian food and Italian restaurants. What about you? What would you say?
Well, I like a lot of food, but Thai food is one, Caribbean food, and soul food.
So many spices and cooking. Like when I have a sandwich, I'm like, you need like a cooked meal with flavors and technique. A good sandwich is hard to make, but when you have a sandwich or simple like diner food, you do crave like soul food or something that's cooked well. Yeah, definitely. I'm speaking the obvious now, but that's But there's a lot of people that are very happy with very simple, ordinary, dumb food. Like they're afraid of like the spices and the real hearty cooking, but it really does make a difference if you can expand. Yes.
And last one, what is in your headphones right now? It could be a song, an album, or even a podcast. What are you listening to right now?
So I do a lot of work on my own, so I like to have some company. So I think I do more podcasts, and I saw this is one good thing that social media is good for. People share now and then like something they're listening to in their stories. So I learned about the What Now podcast with Trevor Noah because somebody shared it in their stories, and it wasn't even that long ago. So I haven't known about it that long. Trevor Noah, like he speaks really well. He gets very deep where you get lost in what he's saying. He's so good in his insight. And he's had really great guests. And one of them was Christian Rudder, the founder of OkCupid. So that was fascinating. But he recently had Bernie Sanders, just really good. And for listening, I love old R&B, like You by Lloyd, and then like Don't Leave by Blackstreet. Those are some of my favorite songs.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Oh, good picks. Good pick.
Yeah. I need to learn more modern songs though. I don't listen to a whole lot of music. Like music.
I think you should be fine with the current scene. I think we can stick to the old school scene. It's good.
They're so good. I mean, I listen to the pop sometimes on Z100. I'm like, this is terrible. Like I can appreciate good pop. Like if I heard Britney's pop now, I would appreciate that. But that's not what it is now. So.
I mean, for some reason, I actually like the pop scene a little bit. I like the pop scene a little bit.
Now?
A little bit. Yeah.
I guess it depends. I guess it depends which one.
Yeah. Depending on the artist. Yeah. Depending on the artist. Yeah. But old school R&B, always listen to old school R&B, and of course I've been listening to Michael Jackson a lot too. Of course, especially because the movie is coming out next year. They dropped the trailer recently. So
really.
Yeah.
Do you know who's playing him?
His nephew, Jafar Jackson.
Oh, yes. Okay. Did you see, I'm really going on a tangent here, but I think everyone should know about this though. Did you see MJ the musical?
I did not. My sister's seen it. I didn't see it. I keep hearing good things about it.
When there is Broadway week, this is the one email from Mayor Adams that was actually good. He sent me an email. I guess I unsubscribed to it because I don't recall any more emails. He sent an email. He has an email newsletter, which is at the Daily News. I remember we were saying that mayors usually don't put out their own stuff because it's not objective. Like news people should be covering the mayor and administrations. They don't usually it would be like the White House putting out a newsletter. Like they typically don't do that. Yeah. But he put it out mainly to combat the press that says bad things, but there were bad things that he was doing. So anyway, the newsletter talked about Broadway week. And I got it like half off, and it's like fourth row. If you ever see a discount like Broadway week, it's like buy one, get one. It's orchestra seats for half off. And see MJ. I have to say, I was really obsessed with it more than other shows. I actually looked up all the actors and their backgrounds. I checked them out on Instagram. Yeah, it was a very uniquely good show. And it was like 14, 15 songs. It was pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's definitely in my radar. That's definitely in my radar. If I ever go back to a Broadway show, I definitely want to see the MJ a Broadway show. So
yeah,
yeah.
some people really catch your eye, and like you just start researching them, and like yeah, it's their backstories, and yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
The MJ.
But yeah. But before we get to the main topic of today's episode, what have you been up to? Like, give us a small life update of what you've been up to. You don't have to talk about too much, but what you been up to?
Yeah, so I'm a journalist and a digital and social media speaker, a news growth leader. So I've done a couple of things. I was an analyst at LinkedIn. So I've always liked speaking. Actually, since when I started working at LinkedIn, it was a big thing to go out into the community and speak because everyone needs to learn how to use LinkedIn a little better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no dearth of groups and organizations that need you to speak about LinkedIn. So I started speaking there. So I've been doing it a lot. And this year I did a TEDx. Actually, that was last month. So I did a TEDx. I've been speaking a lot at different conferences and meetups, even a senior citizens group where I said I would help them learn social media. And they're like, can you add in email and DMs? I'm like, okay, I'll make a lesson. I have not taught how to use email, but yes, I will figure that out. But this is my only podcast for this year. So I'm very excited to do it because I don't have videos of the other talks. So this is the one that will be sticking. So I enjoy speaking and training. Hopefully I don't ramble too much. That's what I've been up to.
You're good. And of course, even after this, we're gonna bring it back, so you can teach us more about the social media.
Thank you.
And
yes.
Jane, I got you. I'll bring it back. Of course, I'll bring it back.
Thank you. And everyone needs to learn. I teach people how to approach social media and what the big picture and the potential could be, even just for yourself. And everyone needs a side hustle because everyone's going to lose their job at some point. So you need a side hustle, and you're not going to have a side hustle without knowing how to use social media for that. So
agree. And the way this economy is going,
and AI.
And AI.
Yeah. So you're going to have to learn how to use it, not just to fiddle around at night. You're going to have to learn how to use it. And most people don't.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But hopefully when I bring you back on the future episode of the Gentleman Podcast, you can teach us all things social media and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
But today we got you here today because we're gonna dive into dating. All things dating, and you have a lot of knowledge of dating. A lot of knowledge of dating. So first thing I'm gonna ask you is, how do you feel about dating today? And how can you tell us about your experience in dating?
So I feel like people, it's like the imposter syndrome. Like, why am I listening to her about dating? So working with a social media company, working with tech companies, being part of the tech scene, you know how they operate. And I've always been really fascinated by dating and relationships. So I was a dating and relationships writer, like GQ China and for some other smaller outlets. So I was a dating and relationships writer, and then I've worked with some of the dating apps as like a consultant. And then it's very similar to being on the inside of a social media platform, like at LinkedIn. It's understanding technically how they work and all the features and the mindset that people are in, and knowing how people come off when you're being digitally represented. And a lot of people just don't recognize that. So it's just having like a coach tell you how to use the dating app from a technical and like a personal perspective that you just may not realize. And this is all going from studies too, because I'm very involved in the dating industry, in the dating app industry. So what do I think of it? That was the question, right? Like, what do I think of the dating scene? Christian Rudder, he was the founder of OkCupid. And then I think he had like a very senior position at Match Group, which owns everything like Tinder, Match.com, all of them, Hinge. So he was just on Trevor Noah's podcast, and he said he would give online dating, which is a pretty big form of dating in general, he said he would give it a C right now because there are a lot of issues that the apps are exacerbating.
Oh, geez, Louise. Geez, Louise.
Yes, we have many ways to meet people, and a lot of people who are meeting uh, who would not meet without the apps. And I think it is like 30% of marriages, or it has eclipsed almost every other way. It depends on which study you're looking at, but it has eclipsed, but it's only like 30%. So it's not like a 90%. I mean, it's pretty high, but people meet other people many other ways. And we can also go into those other ways. Everything's also very organized now. It's not like, I don't know, decades ago where you would meet people a little more organically, like kids. If you want to play sports now, I mean, Trevor Noah talked about this in his like there's no community, there's no meeting people anymore because everything you used to do is paid and organized. Like getting a ride to the airport, that used to be a family member who did not want to do it, but they would do it. But there's none of that now. Like watching someone watching your kids, no one's going to ask someone to watch their kids because you can pay for it now, or like to get food for you should pay for that now. So the same reason we're so isolated, but that's how society was pushed. And for the same reason, we are not meeting people. And then the confluence of that with the pandemic and more work from home and everything closing earlier, not being able to travel, because there's so many reasons why you can't travel now. There's like 20 reasons now. So yeah, and there's a lot of things about the dating apps just by default of, I think at their core, they do want you to match, but they do not make it efficient. And that's not by accident. So if you don't know how to use them, you will get stuck in that inefficiency, and even if you pay for it. So we could get into that too.
Oh yeah, we gonna get to all of that. We'll get to all of that. But
Yeah.
how can you tell about your dating experience? And if you have any good dating stories or bad, it's up to you. Though. That's up to you. That's up to you. That's up to you.
My dating experience. So I'm like, why am I listening to her for about dating and relationships? I don't do what you should do because that is a lot of work, and I will get into that. I do what I think I should. So like everybody has their own stage where they have different problems. We're talking just basically the dating apps, but there's a couple other ways to meet. I mean, there's a lot more social groups, paid, social single groups around food, around coffee, around drinking, running groups. And these are all single focused. Are they good? I don't know. I mean, we all go to events. Like how many times do you meet people at those?
Yeah.
So it's tricky. So my dating experience, some people don't get matches. I mean, this is what the dating experts say, and I follow several of them, so I could tell you at the end who I follow, but this is not just from my advice. It's from people who work with thousands of people and get results and marriages and whatnot, or people who just get people to the next stage. Some people don't get matches, so then you have to like widen your pool, look at your filters. Maybe you should get rid of some of those filters. Maybe you should look at the app that you're on. Some people don't get messages, and some people don't get to the date. So just, you're not necessarily like a failure, quote unquote. It just depends on where you're getting stuck. So my experience, I think I can get through all of those stages. It's just when you meet people, it's hard. Like Evan Mark Katz, who did a really good TED Talk, I think decades ago, about how why you should have a phone call before meeting people for dates. And I think that's amazing. What did he say? He recently said that 90%, 95% of people are categorically not for you. That's heartening to, I mean, it's true. Like you go to an app, you go to a bar, you go to an event, you look at the room, and clearly 95% of the people are not for you. So then it just gets tricky, because then when you do meet some of the people who have that chemistry with you, are you in the same place in life? Are you looking for the same thing? So then that percentage gets smaller and smaller. So it's hard. I'm not making excuses, because I'm sure I probably have some issues or whatever, but there's a lot of factors working against you. So I feel like I can get the matches, the messages, the phone calls, and the date. Are they
Yeah.
amazing? Is the other? They're always fine, but yeah, that's that's the issue.
No, I get it. I get it. And
Yeah,
yeah, and dating today is weird. To be honest, weird, but we do manage to get through it. Let's just say that we do manage
yeah,
to get through it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's definitely dating app fatigue. There's so many articles about dating app fatigue. They do not use the apps anymore. Gen Z really wants to meet in person.
Mhm.
It is easier for Gen Z because you can date 20s, 30s, 40s. But when
Yeah.
you're in your 30s, you just lost the whole decade of people. I mean,
Yeah.
not really, but kind of. And then
Mhm.
when you're in your 40s, you just lost 2 decades of people. Maybe, kind of, kind of.
Yeah.
You could
Mhm.
still date 30s, but there's, a little more to consider on both ends. So yeah, it's getting rid of the apps and meeting in person when you're in the most social decade of your life. You know what else is interesting?
Mhm.
I There's a lot of articles about how friendships work now, and they said that you have the most friends that you'll have, or the most people in your life socially at 25, and
Mm.
then every 7 years you lose half the number of friends you have, or something.
Ac- Actually, that's actually true. I believe that actually.
Yeah,
Because,
you lose it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're getting married in your 20s, you have this six-figure wedding.
Yeah.
You may not speak to half your bridesmaids in
No,
a couple years.
that's true.
I know that for a lot of people personally. Um,
I could relate to that. I could relate to that definitely.
People want the marriage might be amazing, but people do. I mean, the most famous divorce lawyer, he's in New York City. He was on Lewis Howes, Howes. He was on his podcast, and he said everybody uh, puts more thought into the cake than talking about money, the number one reason people get divorced, than talking about how compatible they are in their vision for the future. They talk more about the cake for the wedding. Um, so yeah, I'm not saying everyone is doing this wrong. I'm just saying the priorities that society puts is not very amazing
Yeah.
sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we dive into this a little bit, but how do you feel about dating apps from your personal experiences? And tell us the different types of dating apps like Hinge and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you feel is the best option for a dating app? And what make a good profile? Since you know
Mm.
so much, about the like, what make a good profile
I
about?
I do. I know a lot. I don't know if that's good, but it's not bad. It's not bad because I mean, if you're not meeting people in real life pretty well, you have to use the apps. I don't think you should only use the apps because they are absolutely not designed to be efficient.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do not show you good matches, even if you pay. So for
Mm,
example, like if I pay for Bumble, I'm like a premium member also because they had BFF and Biz. So I'm like,
mm,
if I don't want to use the dating part, I still get premium for the other two. But now they just like last week took BFF off and it's
mm.
separate now.
Oh wow.
I might be able to carry over my premium over to BFF or something, but it's where you swipe and make friends. Which I think is also really hard because people really want to have dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're putting as much effort into making friends. So to message and then try to meet up. Um, I don't know. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's hard for the BFF part. But anyway, you pay to see the people who like you already, but all the articles and my own experience, it's it's like walking into that room and you look at everyone and you know that categorically most people are not for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like 1,000 people who
Mm,
have liked you. You have to go
mm,
through, and they are categorically not for you.
mm.
So you just paid for that, and then like a lot of they'll if you pay for it, they'll give you boosts. You see like no material difference from that boost. I mean, so you're paying for all these things. Um, so there are 8 main dating apps.
Mm.
They are Tinder, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Facebook dating. and I'll throw Match in there, even though you have to pay. The rest are pretty freemium. You can use it for the most part, but Match you cannot message. I actually just read that with Match. Even if you're in the lower tier paid, you still can't see messages. I'm like, that's outrageous.
Oh wow.
Why would you pay if you can't see the message? That's the only reason you should pay. So I
Yeah.
will quickly go over these. So Tinder and Bumble, the biggest. I think you should be where everyone is. The niche apps, you're just going to run out of people. So I think it's good to be where everyone else is. I also think that for the really paid ones, like, I mean, I feel like people who do not know dating will push people to go to eHarmony because they're the most expensive. I think they're like $70 a month or something. I mean, they're really expensive.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But you put so much time into filling out these crazy questionnaires, and like we have psychologists matching you. They have, I mean, I don't know. But the Better Business Bureau, I mean, they have so many lawsuits. But my point is the really crazy and niche and expensive ones, those people are probably also on Tinder and Bumble.
Yeah.
So I would say be on those two. The problem for me with Tinder and maybe Plenty of Fish, like to me, those are like the Craigslist of dating. Like everybody is on there. So many fakes now. I have never experienced that. But I've always heard people complaining about it, especially guys. I'm experiencing it a ton now. I would say like 60%. And it's really disheartening to hear that because, and even if you pay, I read it doesn't, diminish the amount of fakes that you message with. Like it takes forever to message with people, and to know that more than half are probably fakes. I actually report them because I can tell just by the way they're writing now. I can actually not even tell from the pictures. Usually, sometimes you can because they look similar. But now it's like after so much messaging, and then I report them, and every single time the dating platform will tell me we banned them, which means they figured out that they were fake. It's like so many. But it would be Tinder. I'm just saying you need to be more vigilant. That has to be a factor in how you use it. You have to think for certain telltale signs. If they're like not from the country, if they ask you, where are you from? How long have you been here? What are you looking for? I'm just saying in the very early part of the messaging, that's just what they do. And if they have a certain look and you see the same kind of messages, you have to just be really vigilant. And that, to me, that means you have to get to a phone call faster because that's where it'll reveal. And then report them. And then the way they know, and people actually buy this now, they have AI fraud detectors. They scour the internet to see if that picture is anywhere else. And the majority of the time it is somewhere, which means they stole the picture, which means it's a fake person. It's crazy. It's crazy. And these are people who paid for the app. So Tinder and Bumble's okay. That's where like the woman used to have to make the first move, but thank God that's not the case anymore. Thank God. Because who has time for that? Like I cannot go through I need someone else to be able to do it on their time also. Bumble is okay. The same way Tinder is. The good thing about these is if you put a decent amount of time one day, like 2 hours across most of these main apps, and there's like 7 or 8 now, you put like 2 hours in, you will get a decent amount of messages. You can get to, I always say you have to get to a phone call. That's what Evan Marc Katz said in his TED Talk, because he said 5 minutes on the phone is worth 2 weeks of messaging back and forth.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And I have a lot of really smart friends who are so dead against. I would say a good amount of, maybe the majority of people are actually against the phone call. And they're like, well, you're going to meet anyway. No, you're not. You can tell you can't tell in 5 minutes on the phone. Like you can eliminate, that's mean. Because guys know this. So like, you want to get to the phone call to eliminate me. Yes, I do. So Tinder, Bumble, Hinge has always been known as like, you're more than a swipe because you have to go down the whole profile and you can like any aspect of their prompts. And same thing with Bumble now, they adopted that. One tip from one of the better dating experts, she said, in those prompts, don't waste it on pineapple on pizza. Like that's a popular one. Like, oh, people have all these cliche dating app sayings like pineapple on pizza and like uh I like to stay in, but I like to go out. Don't say stupid things like that. No one's going to message you about that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not going to help people. I mean, you're gonna have all these vapid DMs and then vapid phone calls and like a vapid first date. You have to see how they live their life. Like the questions that you asked me. I don't know if you realize that you asked me the questions that
hmm
would get you to a deeper relationship. That's what the dating expert said. Like, how do you like to spend your day?
hmm
How do you relax? Where do you want to travel? These things are like underlying what they're saying is more of how they want to live their life and
yeah,
some of their weaknesses. Yeah, so you have to ask questions like that in your prompts. There's other ways to write your profile and whatnot, but I just still quickly going through these. Coffee meets
yeah.
bagel. I have not seen. I haven't gotten a lot out of that. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about the success there. But one good thing about Coffee Meets Bagel is they pause the profile if they don't sign in for a while.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good thing. And you get your batch of matches at noon, but if you haven't signed in for a little bit, they'll give you the ones from yesterday. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
Facebook dating. A lot of people like
Oh,
Facebook dating. I will say I kind of like it, and I may have had quote unquote better success on there because it's kind of like the Craigslist of dating. It's everyone. Everyone's a little more down to earth. The problem, they are one, it's mobile only. I think everything that I've mentioned, well, no, Tinder and Bumble, you can do it on desktop. And my little strategy has been if you can do it on desktop, do it on desktop.
Mhm.
And the others that you can only do on mobile, that's what you do when you're on your phone. But
Yeah.
I don't, and the experience is different. And by the way, when you're holding a screen 4 inches away from your face, you experience it more than an IMAX movie. That's why we get so addicted to our phone.
Mhm.
So if you can do it, if you can do the Instagram, if you can do like the Tinder and Bumble on your desktop, do it on your desktop because it's like less addictive. What was I going to say? Oh, Facebook dating. Facebook dating is mobile only, which like, can you really write so much on your phone? It gets really frustrating. So,
Yeah.
I do wish they had a desktop version, but Mark Zuckerberg, he said, don't show me anything, like to his product people. He said, don't show me anything if it's not on a phone. So
Mhm.
he's trying to take everything off desktop. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, yes. They're very inefficient in that your settings wipe, like all your preferences wipe every time you sign out or every
Yeah.
time you close the dating portion. So all your filters, it's really annoying. And
Yeah. Yeah.
they tend to show you people 4 states away.
Sure, that's annoying. That's the annoying thing about
Yes, yes.
it.
And you specifically said 2 miles away, only two
Yeah.
miles away. I shouldn't say this here. I have had a good amount of people come from other states
hmm Yeah.
from Facebook dating. Like Facebook dating is promoting the tourism and like gas. They should be like the Michelin guide, like for
Mhm.
restaurants. So it's like the
Yeah.
pinnacle. That
Yeah.
was so that people drive so they could buy tires, the Michelin tires.
hmm
So I feel like I'm doing a service for like the tourism of New York City. Um, yeah, Facebook dating I think is a good one, but they're getting a little more scammers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you you talk to a lot of people who are really far away. And lastly, your settings and filters and preferences wipe every time you leave the app,
I
so it's
agree.
a little frustrating. So yes, those are the main ones. I'm sorry that was so long, but yes, that's what I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, I do have friends with dating apps. I am on a few of them. I am on a
Mm-hmm.
few of them. Facebook dating, Hinge. I did sign up for Bagel, Meet Coffee, Meet Bagel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also on this one dating app, the new one called Breeze, which is
I've heard
pretty,
of that.
which is
To
pretty
tell me,
cool.
what is
Um,
it?
the concept is like where they make a profile, and if somebody matches you, in no chats, you pretty much
Okay.
you gotta go on an actual date after. You gotta sign up to fill out something, and whoever you match with, they set up. They you have to pay on the app, and they set you up at a place that of their choice, and they set you on the date and that.
I feel like I'm going to explode. Do you do you
Yeah,
like that? I have commented on their Instagram because I think it's absolutely insane, and maybe I'm just showing my age. And this is, I mean, I think Gen Z or the influencers that I comment on, because they talk about this too, they
yeah,
think I'm like 95 years old. Do I mean, because like my thinking is that 95% of people are not for you, and you will not realize that until you
yeah,
speak on the phone. And that
yeah,
saves you so much time in
yeah,
getting ready, going to the date, being on the date, and leaving the
yeah,
date.
yeah,
That,
yeah. Agree, agree, agree.
especially since, I mean, we're not like Chicago. Like, we have many bodies of water that we have to cross to
Yeah.
meet people, and it's expensive. Um, so do have you have you been on have you met people?
Not on that. No, not now. Breathe. No, now breathe. Now
I
breathe.
think
Now
that
breathe.
is the craziest thing, but maybe that is good for another generation.
Mhm.
Maybe also because they don't mind making friends. But to me,
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind doing that to get to a phone call, but they're not going
yeah,
to make money off that because they're
yeah,
making money off the people repaying for the
yeah,
date.
yeah,
The other
yeah,
thing I'll say, I find like most profiles, their pictures are so old.
yeah, yeah,
Especially during the pandemic, people don't have good pictures and they don't really, I don't know, they're not as social. Their pictures are really old. And even within the same profile, the pictures, like, obviously you go by the worst picture, but you can clearly tell some of the pictures are from like high school or college, and then one recent picture. And then on top of that, people don't write anything in their profiles anymore. Like on
yeah,
Match.com, it used to be real profile, and then
mhm,
people write emails, but that's because you did it on a computer.
yeah,
Now that it's ever since the swiping and the gamification, it's one line messages, no profile text, which
mm,
and some of the guys they write, nobody reads these. Anyone who writes that means that they have no patience for any communication. They have uh, not so great communication skills. And for me, that's not something that I want. So yeah, no good pictures, no profiles, and then no messages. How can you just meet somebody like that?
yeah,
That's my take. So that's
yeah.
why I was like, I'm going to explore. But you sounded very enthusiastic about it.
I
So
mean, it's cool. I mean, I didn't get no matches on that site, but it's cool. I mean, though, my best option I always use is Hinge. I feel like I've been having the best
really,
luck on
dates?
there. Yeah, yeah, on Hinge. Yeah, Hinge. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
People have really a lot. I know someone who met his wife on there. I mean, people, but I mean, people meet their significant others, their spouses. They meet them on every single, even
Yeah,
like down to F. That ostensibly was a hookup app, but people got married from that. So I'm just saying they all have they all have success, wild success.
yeah.
They all have lawsuits.
Yeah.
The majority of people will just have their time wasted. Most
Mhm,
people will have mediocre experiences. They'll get dates, but they'll have
mhm.
their time wasted if you don't know
Yeah.
how to use the apps.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, like I said, I've had the best luck on Hinge. It's a hit and miss for me. Hit and miss for me.
Yeah.
I just go leave it at that. Yeah, it's just a hit and miss for me.
I'll
But
also
yeah,
say this, the people who run these dating apps, uh, they're an interesting bunch. I mean, there's so many stories out about the founders of Tinder, and
mhm.
then Whitney Wolf Heard, who was their marketing person, and then she left, but it was like ugly. I don't know if you saw that. There's also a Hulu
No,
movie. There's a
mm,
Hulu movie about it. I mean, some of the people behind these big ones, they're like horrible.
mm,
I worked with I guess some of them, but I'll say I met the founder of Hinge, Justin
mm.
McLeod. Yeah, he was fine. I didn't really like it. They weren't friendly. I mean, they might be now. This was a long time ago. It's just you're in like the most social and significant, impact on society. I feel like you should be emotionally intelligent. And they were fine. I just didn't think they were friendly at all. So it's
Mm.
just, it's a business, and
Yeah,
it's not like warm and fuzzy inside. It can be. Maybe I'm wrong now, but there is so many. It's kind of like the morning show on Apple TV. It's about like,
Oh,
the network morning show. It's like ugly inside.
mhm.
I
I mean,
did I
I
did
heard
work
about
at
the
them.
show.
I've
I heard
worked at
about.
these too. So
Mhm.
I know that like these things are so warm and fuzzy and they have massive influence on society, like dating apps, morning shows, the lifestyle, media, and they're really wild inside, to say the least. So yes,
I
that's
mean,
my
I heard
experience.
about. I heard about the morning show. That's in my watch list actually. I heard about it,
Do you have
but
Apple
no, I
TV?
don't. No, I don't. I don't.
Oh, you have to find somebody with it. And to me, that's the only show is really quite good. I worked at Good Morning America to a degree. I was the assistant to the anchor, so I saw everything and it was something. So yeah, being on the inside of social networks, I mean, LinkedIn and then the morning shows, network TV, all the big anchors, and then the inside of dating apps. Like, I think that's why I'm so jaded, but it's also good. I did say they have good intention.
Yeah, yeah,
So yes.
yeah. But now tell us about the do's and don'ts about dating online, and
Mm.
why do people have bad experiences with dating online, like no matches or even getting ghosts mid conversation or even after the first of a few dates.
Yeah. Okay. So what you should do. So I have on my Instagram. I'm not plugging my Instagram, but I am because it's pinned on there. I put so much thought into it. I have to make an updated one, by the way. So I have like 7 slides on my Instagram of what you should and shouldn't do. uh, because I just feel like a lot of people need to understand like these basics. You should use good pictures. Obviously, that's the most important thing. Like poor quality pictures, that's the majority. So if you have a good quality picture, that really sets you apart. It's like the bar is so low. People do not write anything, anything of substance, anything that's helpful. Like how do you write like a good business profile? You write about the problem that your customers have and then the solution. And you don't write much about you. Like you write about what they want and what the value is for them. And that's how you should write your dating apps. Like if the people who you want to attract like are family oriented and they value like kindness and being funny, like you show them these things and you say like that's what you're looking for. This is how I would love to. I mean, you don't say it in so black and white, but like if you want a family oriented life, you kind of talk about that. People talk about nonsense uh in their dating apps. So pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a photographer, so I really like clear pictures. Sometimes I've swiped right just because I liked the clarity of the picture, and then I realized I'm on a dating app. I can't just do that. Um, Men are less trustworthy. This is a study. Also, I learned this from LinkedIn. So men should be looking at the camera. The other thing, men are in like a very scruffy period now. Like they really like the scruffy hair, unshaven, like big beards, wild adventure pictures, like on these adventures and outdoors, which is fine. Women are not looking for that. Like, most women want like nice little cozy experiences. They want a family. It's just men are doing a disservice by trying to look a little too manly. So one, a little clean cut is nice. Like in general, most women want that and most men are not giving that. So there's one. You should be looking at the camera. There should be no sunglasses, not in the main picture. You should be kind of smiling because the default, the people are looking to weed out, not weed in. So if you don't look nice in your pictures, you're out. So smile a little bit. A lot of guys don't do that. Group pictures, you shouldn't. I don't think you should at all because you have a split second. They have a split second to make a decision on you and they have to figure out through scrolling through 6 pictures which one you are. And then they'll probably get annoyed if you're not the best looking of the friends because you tried to like dupe them. So, picture wise, no hats, no sunglasses, no filters, clear picture, smiling. Men should also, get a little dressed up and women should too, but women typically are. Women like to get dressed up and they would probably, because women are into like makeup and doing their hair. So they're probably going to do that. But yes, picture mainly by yourself. maybe with a friend or two, but don't give ammunition. It's very easy for people to walk away. So don't give people ammunition by a picture with your sister or a female friend. No. I also feel like that's kind of inconsiderate, because I don't know anything about you, and you could be showing me a picture with your ex, which also could mean you're going to talk about your ex, and I don't want to hear that. That's like the last thing. I also say, what you shouldn't do. Men are very open, and think there's nothing wrong with talking about their ex very early, like on the phone call. And I think that they think that women may find it helpful that to know that they had an ex or they're capable of having a relationship. But I typically find it, and studies say that people think that you're not over them. If you're on the first phone call or first date and I don't know much about you and you're already bringing up your ex, even if you think it's innocuous, there's just really no reason. There's good information in talking about your ex, but not in the first few. And I feel like most guys do now, which is a little crazy. What else you should do? Write a bit in your profile, and ideally write a bit about what you're looking for in a partner, and show, don't tell. Like, don't say that you're funny, but give a funny example, like a funny story. But women really want to see that you have a calm side and a mature side and like emotionally regulated. So don't say anything negative also. A good amount of profiles will say like, I want someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously, and don't swipe left if this. I mean, nothing negative. Nothing that makes you sound like you have a chip on your shoulder, because that's the only way that comes off. So good quality pictures. Write something in your profile, because most of them are like 1 or 2 lines now. So write stuff in your profile. What else? Oh, your parameters. I mean, it's unfortunate, but this is one good thing that Match.com had when I was a paid member on there. You could have multiple searches. So you could have like a certain age group with a small parameter radius, or you could have a big radius. But now you only have one search, and that's actually a big disservice, because I want to have a wide search, but not as my primary. Like, I want to go back to that narrow search. So you have to keep changing your search settings every time you want to, because sometimes you want to meet people in New York, but then it's not bad to try to expand, especially as you get older. You need a bigger pool. So you have to let go of some of your limits. One of the best dating experts, she said, everyone in dating is whittled down to these measurable things, because that's the only thing dating apps can do. They only have these drop downs. And even people who are not on dating apps now, that's their barometer for good dates, like the height. And some of the filters are good, like smoking and what they're looking for, because a lot of people are looking for ethically non-monogamous, especially Gen Z. I mean, a decent amount of Tinder for Gen Z are married. It's a lot more open for as you get younger to be experimental. So that is good. That part is good for dating apps, because I want to see what you're looking for. Hookups, I want to see that if you're looking for hookups, because I'm not. So that's good. But the other parameters may be doing us a disservice, because you fill out so many parameters, and a lot of it doesn't have to do with whether they're a good partner. Yes. So I don't think that's oh, and yes, when you message, what should they do? I set up, I probably shouldn't admit this, but it's kind of funny. I set up a man's profile just to see, because someone did a TED talk about, she did this. She set up a man's profile to see what the women are writing and their experiences. And every single person sent hi. I mean, I could go by my own profile, like, because most people just say hi. Some people will give like one little line, but the bar is really low to set a connection. There's no connection in hi, and so much small talk. I mean, it could be days and weeks of small talk. what you should do is compliment them, but nobody wants to do that. Because you're giving them the upper hand, and they may not like you, and they may ghost you on the
Yeah,
DMs.
that's true. That's true.
But but then why are you on the, I don't do it, by the way, and this is why I'm single, because like I don't take my own advice. Then why are you on the date? Like, you don't have to gush and like grovel. You could just say like, so like, that's a nice so and so, like, oh, that vacation. Oh, your pictures, by the way. You should have some icebreakers in your profile. Like, this is the pineapple on pizza that I warned against, but trying to find the best gelato, trying to find the best pizza, something that is an icebreaker, that's an easy in. And then the pictures, a travel picture or an iconic place in New York, in the geo that you're looking in, because that's an easy in to message you. So the beginning should be easy, and that should be one line. So you should write a good amount in the profile. Unfortunately, the actual message should be one line or two lines, because they're on the go and they're not going to write back if it's more than that. So for that reason, but when you do message, that one or two lines should be in quote unquote, like specific to them. You should also find a way to tie it to the both of you. Like, get it in there, try to have them visualize the both of you together, because that's going to make them like you. And I say this slowly, like sarcastically, because obviously it makes sense that you should do that, but no one's going to do this because they don't want the lower position of trying to make it look like they're pushing the visualization of both of you before the other person's ready. But so like, I see that you like Harry Potter. I don't know if it's going to work because I like this about Harry Potter, or maybe we could see if we, like, who knows more or something, like tie it to the both of you. So give them an in for such specific interests, and then when you message, make it about something specific about their profile, but then also try to tie it to both of you, so they can already see that you're visualizing the two of you together. That's hard to do, by the way, because you have a lot of masters, and a lot of them are not going to write back. You don't want to put this much time into it, but that's what you have to do.
There you go. So my next thing is, how do you feel about social dating, like speed dating and dating events? And what is a good way to approach someone at the event? And how come people do not go out to the event no more?
I mean, there are a few ways, like I said, like the social groups where you meet a group of people for a meal. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just a curmudgeon now for being at home for a while. I feel like, I read the reviews, and I think most people, like the majority of what you do in anything you do, like 10%, 5% will yield any results. Like in job search and dating apps, like it's such a little percentage of what you do. The majority of these social groups is going to yield maybe a cool friend, someone you talk to for that night. Maybe. I think so few. It's just hard. Like maybe you'll meet a friend. Maybe I don't know, but that's what I think. Reading the reviews of those, it's like 6 people. I think it's nice. It's always nice. How could it not? I mean, you're in a nice context. Everyone's going in with an open mind, and you're meeting these strangers, and you want to leave with 6 friends, but it's kind of pricey. You split the checks you know how it is when people split checks amongst friends, and who ordered how many drinks, and you can't make arguments like that with 6 strangers. I actually wish that these things were prepaid. I think that would be amazing. There are some others where you meet for coffee, and that's really good. I think coffee is much better. I have read that some people really like it, but I'll tell you what I think some people don't like about it. It can be pricey. You don't know how much it'll be. You don't know if you'll click with 6 people and you have to spend the night, talking to them. Some people monopolize the conversation. I mean, you have 6 people. So, but I think you meet at bars with there's other tables of 6 people and you all meet at a bar or something after. So that's not bad. You have a chance to meet everybody. I think those are okay. I think, and then speed dating. I mean, I did those a very long time ago. These things they cost. I mean, if you're thinking about, I know money's not, I mean, you'll pay any amount. That's what the founder of Tinder said. Like, how much would you pay to meet your wife? Any amount. So that was his argument for making Tinder gold. And Tinder's one of the most paid apps in the app store. So people will pay any amount. It's not so much the money, but is the money going to be used well and for a night that you'll enjoy and you'll actually meet someone who you will keep in touch with, even as a friend. I don't know. And that to me, that should be the goal because it's like $40-50. That could have been a good amount of a membership for one of these apps. But like I said, it's helpful, but it's not necessarily amazing to be when you're paid versus not paid on some of the apps. But so speed dating, so those are like $30-40. I should not admit this, but I don't think any organizers are listening to this. You can look at a few of the speed dating sites. And if it's not too inconvenient for you, this is terrible that I'm saying this, sit at the bar and look at the menu. If there's something that you like I'm putting a high criteria and crashing these things, like everything has to be in my favor. If you can know the bar that you can sit at the bar and you can see the people if they're not going to be in a private room or something. Sometimes they're upstairs, sometimes they're like downstairs, but sometimes they're in like an open area where you can see them from the bar. Just look at the crowd first and see if you'd want to pay for it. Like you could sit at the bar. Sometimes they talk to you too, and you have to pretend. You have to really pretend that you're not there for that. But you just want to see who's there and you like get food. I have done that a few times. I've also done the actual speed dating a few times. So you meet like 20 people and that's a good thing, but maybe I'm just so picky. You look at the room and you know, categorically not for you. Maybe 1 or 2 people can be, and that's good. I've had like one date come from speed dating because you match with each other after.
Yeah.
I've made a very good girlfriend because the girls sit and the guys move. And her husband became a very good friend of mine and very, very helpful so that kind of, so that speed dating changed my life, but for a friend. So there's that. So you have the groups, which I think can be good. Do you meet people who you will keep in touch with even as a friend or or like a professional reason? I'm not sure. Let's see. And then the speed dating, they're good. I would suggest sneaking to the bar and watching it first just to see, because it's $40. Like that's not nothing. And then you'll probably kick yourself if there were a couple of guys or girls that you wanted to meet, but you could try to talk to them after. I mean, you cannot let on that what you're doing though, because they're gonna think you're insane. So that's the speed dating. The other thing is matchmakers. Oh my God, that is such an industry. But there's also like more modern digital savvy, like Talkify and 3-Day Rule. These things they're not cheap, but then traditional matchmakers, they're really not cheap. I mean, they're thousands. And from what I know, oh God, I met with all of them and then I got dirt because I'm also a journalist. So I really wanted to know. And some of them were really eager to talk to me about the other matchmakers. So it's a few thousand. Some of them will promise you a couple of lunch dates. Some of them, it's like some of the big ones, like the ones that advertise in like the airline when you're on those fancy, you get those like fancy airline magazines. There are like international matchmakers that advertise in those to the first class people. These they have models who go out with the men and the model has no intention of ever having a relationship with them. But the man doesn't know that. And he paid 6 figures to go out with women who they think are potential matches. It's Wild West.
Mm.
They will charge you for matchmakers, and there's a lot of them in New York. These are the big ones. They charge you thousands different based on how matchable they think you are, which can make sense, but that's thousands of dollars. That's kind of not fair. Um, a lot of people in the database, they're not active anymore. It's kind of like Match because I memorized some of the names that they showed me in the preview, and I looked them up, and they're not in New York, and they're not single anymore, which is insane. Some of them work, so it's just like the dating apps. There are so many marriages, there's so many lawsuits for the same app, for the same matchmaker. It's just which side of that will you wind up on. The majority of the people will be in the middle, and they'll just not have a good experience, but not bad. They met some people, but for nothing that they intended. So yeah, it's tricky. There's so many. I mean, they all have success stories. So I'm like kicking myself as I say. I'm like, am I just being too hard on these people? It's thousands of dollars. It's hard to let go of that. If you're not guaranteed. If you're not, some of them, they don't even, if they will show you the person before you meet, because they only promise you 3 matches for a couple of thousand, which is a lot. You can get 3 dates on your own. If they can show it to you and then you say yes or no, and then that counts for your 3, that's different. But if they force you to just go out with 3 people and that was $5,000, that's insane. So, yes. If people want to follow up with me, I have a lot more information and dirt. So if people want to follow up with me on any of those things, I know a lot about them. And it's interesting, isn't it? It's so sad when you're single. Like, it is several industries built around singles and how much they want to meet somebody and how difficult it is to meet somebody.
Yeah. But there you go. I mean, I did the speed dating before a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was all right. I mean, I did match with somebody at the end, but it didn't go nowhere.
Exactly.
So like, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
would I do it again? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But
Well, what you should do is what I said. I mean, they try to make it so it's not so random. They try to make it niche now, like advanced degrees, Asians. They try to do like older women, younger men. They try to do like blue collar. They try to do, but those things don't really tell you that has no bearing on whether you're compatible. Like Mets fans, like that has no bearing on whether you're compatible or maybe, I guess, but do you need somebody who's, I mean, if someone is a diehard Mets fan and lives their life around the Mets, it would help, yes. But I read that, whose book was this? I forgot, her name, Logan Ury. She's the head relationship scientist at Hinge. She's actually pretty good, and she has a big podcast. And she said you can have an other significant other, an OSO. Your significant other does not need to have all your biggest interests and your life activities. So, like, if you're a surfer, not a whole lot of women are going to be diehard surfers. So you don't need someone who's so interested in even just beach activities. You can have you can have good friends and partners, so to speak, in those activities that you like. The only thing is your partner should be tolerant of it. Like if you like grow cannabis and your partner is adamantly against weed, then that's not going to work. So they should be tolerant of it and supportive of it, and they should be happy for you because it makes you happy.
Yeah.
But they don't need to have your interest. You can have your interests, even if it's an overwhelming majority of your life. You can have that with other people. They just have to be a good partner and good supportive. So people should realize that. But it is a very complex equation.
Yeah, there you go. So the next question is, how do you get over a bad breakup? And the other question, I didn't have it in my notes, but I'm gonna add it in. Mm-hmm. Do you feel social media is an issue with dating?
Yes. So with teens, with young people, I mean, this was in my TED talk too. We are more anxious. We are just kind of more miserable. We're more isolated. We are more agitated. And the more you use devices, like the more you're on your phone, everyone should have a counter, like that focus, the focus time. It's default in most of your phones. You should be capping. You have to know how much time you're spending on social and on your phone, because the more you use them, the more aggravated and irritable. And that is just the talk was about the entrepreneurship mindset, like being able to adapt in the age of AI for your personal business and career. But does any of that sound like it's a good, I don't know, state of being for dating? It's going to carry into how you ghost people, to how you go on dates and you're very critical of people and you're very stressed out if you disagree on the slightest thing, because you're used to living your life on social media where everyone disagrees and it's really stressful and it's really hard to make a point in one line. These are all strangers. And then 65% of Twitter is bots. And guess what? Those bots are trolls. So it's really stressful. And it's the same on Facebook. So it's really stressful. And that's the default that people are expecting. They'd be very combative. So it does make it certainly much harder. And then this is how younger people are growing up. They're growing up completely on this. I mean, I didn't have any of this even in college, and I'm not that old. But having this being your whole life, it's not going to bode well for your interpersonal relationships and skills. So yes, certainly, you should be limiting your time and be very cognizant. I think they said, 5 to 8 hours. A lot of people on their phones now, like at least 3 to 8 hours, and the other 10 hours are on their computer. So it's not like it's a lot better, but at least not on your phone, because I actually think the electromagnetic frequency, the EMF, is actually really not good. So if you're going to do this to your brain, what do they call it? Brain rot scrolling or something, do it on a computer. But so you should be timing that, because it makes you more agitated and irritable in your dating life. So that in itself, yes. You should be limiting that. And my other thing on my social media talks, you can have your fun. Like you can comment on the morning show. And I say that because I commented on the morning show on the Apple TV, the Reese Witherspoon show on Instagram on something. And the comment went viral. I mean, it's like thousands of likes or something. And I said, if you were going to do that for hours, you can spend 5 minutes doing it for the category of your career, for your side business, for your personal goals. Like, I want to meet more yoga people in New York City. You should have a goal for each of those areas, personal, business, and career, and spend a couple of minutes on social media doing that. I'm just saying that all the time that you're spending on these things, it does a lot to your personality and your psyche. So you should spend a little time. It's not fun, but you're the one who set these goals for yourself. You should set some goals and make sure you're trying to use social media to get you towards them. So that's the social media component. People should set limits, and people should be way more cognizant of trying to get something out of it for their personal business and career, which most people are not. They're just commenting on silly things and the rage bait and their entertainment, which is fine, but you have to put 5 minutes into the other stuff. The first question, what was the first question?
How do you get over a bad break?
Yes. So Matthew Hussey is my favorite. I met him. I went to see him 3 times, and he invited me to be on stage. Like, he asked for an audience member to be on stage. So this is how much I like him. I'm saying he was actually sold out in New York, and I went all the way to Philadelphia, and then they opened up New York again. So I made it a little vacation. It was a long time ago. I made it a vacation to go to Philadelphia with my mom. I mean, I really do like him. I saw him at lunch, and I'm just saying the magnitude of how good he is. I saw him eating lunch outside in the West Village, and I actually stopped, and he was recording at YouTube, and he has millions of followers. I'm just saying he's just so good, and I'm going to get into why. And he will get you over a breakup better than anyone can. So I will just suggest that to anyone. There are a lot of dating coaches, and they give similar advice. He has been putting out so many videos for decades, and he is just so good. He will get you over someone in 4 weeks. You have to put a lot of time into it, but you will scrounge for his videos, because if you're trying to get over someone, you are dying. So you will want his videos. It's like it takes over your life when you, and the reason why it's so hard to get over people now, and he said we are getting rejected at rates that we were never designed to. Like, we get rejected by people that we like daily and weekly now. And forget it if we actually meet someone, physically meet someone who we like. It's like a golden unicorn, because it's so rare now. It's so hard that if we create this story about them and we fall in love with the story. And he said the most dangerous point in your relationship with anybody is when you decide you like them, because all your standards and your rationales like go out the window, and you put this story on them and they have done nothing to earn it. But anyway, I'll go back to the lunch thing. I stopped him and I said, I went through everything that he has done in my life that was good for me. And then I apologized for interrupting his lunch. I said, I left a comment on your Facebook that said, I am glad that I'm alive at the same time as you. And that's a pretty weighty thing to say if you really think about it. He was so taken aback by that. He said that was like a top 3 compliment that he's ever received in his life. And he was in New York for a part of it. Like, he has a club that people pay every month to, and it's pretty expensive. He invited me to that event for free, which was really nice, because it was so meaningful. And he put me in the YouTube. It was just very meaningful and that is pretty weighty. And I am so glad that I'm alive at the same time as him, because I could not have gotten through the bad things as quickly as I have. What was I going to say? Oh, he said, it's not even about the amount of time. Like, if you're lonely enough, you will think about your exes. We naturally will think back to when we were happy with someone. And he and so many dating coaches, they make their money because people cannot get off their exes, and they cannot move on from one decent date. They will kill themselves for not hearing back from this person. So he says about getting over people. One, we all know this, but it's the fantasy. It's not reality, because we have a scarcity mindset that will never happen again, because we only liked 1 or 2 people that year. So when we have someone that we actually like, it is nothing of how they treated us and their actual attributes. It's the story that we put on them, because we have been looking for this our whole lives. And it's so rare that we meet someone that we like. And he said, it's not even about the amount of time that you spend with them. He said, it could be from one very good date, or that could be worse than people who've been together for years, because it's gotten so ugly. And some people, they checked out so long ago that they are physically A-okay the next day because they checked out so long ago. So don't feel bad if it's like 1 week. He said the only thing that you know is that they were good for 1 week. You are mourning the month or 6 months or 1 year, what it could have been, because that's what they talked about. They talked about 1 year. Yeah. But they were not good for that 1 year. They were only good for that. The only thing you know is that they were good for that 1 week, because that's how long it lasted. The other thing he said, because he talks about having really severe chronic pain, and he went all over the world to try to cure it. I mean, it was like such a throbbing headache. He couldn't drink. He couldn't box anymore. And he said he likens it to people who cannot get over somebody and who believe that they'll never find love or even a good date anymore. And there are people who want to just stop wanting to find dates. 60% of people, I think, what was it? 60, yes, 60% of single people do not want to date. They are not on the apps. They're doing nothing. So all these statistics about how many singles there are out there, 60% of them are doing nothing. And that's something that Matthew says. So you're not competing with them. And then another 40%, another like 30% want casual or interested. They're not even that into dating, but they're in the dating pool. So it's really only 10% that want relationships, which is hard. If you want a relationship, it's only 10% of people that want it. But it's also that you don't have a whole lot of competition trying. It does, when you're on the apps, it seems like there is enough competition for sure. But back to the chronic pain, and then I'll move on from this. But when he talked about the chronic pain, he likens it to people who want to stop wanting love because they think it's not going to happen, and trying to get over exes, which is what gives him a business and any dating coach, because nobody can get over their exes. Nobody can move on from these so many bad dating experiences where they like the person and they never hear from them, and that pain is like it's very obsessive. I mean, you have a spike in your dopamine and your serotonin. That's very real. The crash is very real, and he will get you over. Just watch a lot of his YouTubes on getting over someone, and use ChatGPT and ask them what Matthew would say in this specific situation for you. And you can do it in 1 month. But the chronic pain, he said that the solutions are, know that one, what did he say? One, everything changes. So when he went to a doctor about the chronic pain, he said, I'm never going to be able to drink wine for the rest of my life. And she said, okay, let's stop the ceremony of it all. She goes, you don't know what it's going to be like in 1 year. So let's just stop with the ceremony of it. And he loved that phrasing of it. That is how we are with our dating. Like, I'll never find someone. I'll never stop thinking about the one that got away, which he said, there is no such thing, like right person, wrong time. He said that is just fiction. That is like science fiction. Because if they were the wrong time, that is just not this lifetime. If only they were different. That's not reality. They are who they are. So it was not the right person.
Yeah.
And what else? So everything changes. And so everything changes really quickly. Like, you can meet someone and things can go really well and it can move very quickly. So you don't know. The other thing is you have a whole lot of control over how I don't know, your tactics and whatnot. I forgot what his other thing is, but oh yes. Look at small degrees of pain. Like, some days the pain is a 10, but other days you go out with people, you go out with a group and you meet some people and you meet a really good potential. And you learn how to take it with, I don't know, a little more modicum of like the excitement. You know how to temper it a little bit. So some days it's 10, and some days you're not as lonely because you had a good experience with a person or with people, and now it's a 5. So you just learn how to modulate. Yes, so everything changes, and you just look for the days where it's not as difficult, and you eventually can get more days where it's not as difficult. That's how you move on. Sorry if that was long.
Yes. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And do you feel this generation believe in marriage?
So like I mentioned before, that Gen Z is more open to experimenting, and I mean, when the kids go to proms now, I notice they go in big groups. Like, they're not even attempting to be in dates. Some will have dates, but I think it's more acceptable to go in groups of friends, where that would not have been the case. Like, you needed to have a date kind of before. So they're not even attempting. I think like every generation, I saw a study, they hit the 3 milestones, like moving out, getting married, and having kids by 40. Like, every generation, so Gen X, and then Millennial, and then Gen Z, and then there's Beta, and then Alpha or something now. Like, those are the really young ones. Every generation, it drops precipitously. I mean, I think it's a little less than half now of the people who in their 40s who hit those milestones. And for Gen Z, that was for millennials. So for Gen Z, they're on path to be like less than half of that. Like, their social skills and dating skills are just totally, it's it's not, I mean, this is so significant that like in Japan, the government got involved because they have no workforce. So it's global. There are many theories about this. If anyone is interested, there was a really interesting book called Date-onomics. It was John Berger. He was a reporter, I think, for Fortune or something, but he did expose why some of why it's so difficult, and because of the lopsided dating ratios for genders and the behavior of men and being serious has changed significantly. So they're like a lot more players in their 20s, but that carries into their 30s and 40s, like not wanting relationships. And the Pew Research Center is where I got that data that 60% of singles do not want to date. Or if they do, it's like casual. So, do people believe in marriage? The direction that no, they're believing in it less. But also, there was a very interesting study. It was from CNBC just last month, and it was a famous like dating and relationship researcher. And he's like bullish on dating apps, but he said, just like Trevor Noah said, people can get it from other areas, in most cases, paid and organized ways. You know, like women can work now. Like women can work, but they can also get everything that they needed from a partner, which is sad because they're obviously not getting that companionship and love. And it's sad that people are just accepting that that's how they have to live their life forever now, and they're being okay with it. But he also said, like, from generations ago, like the men, they wanted help milking the cow. Now with social media, the women expect more. They want people who can help them grow and inspire them and help them with their career and personal growth. That's a tall order, and that's what they're looking for emotionally. Whereas our parents and our grandparents were not looking for that. I don't think. They may kind of get it. They may have kind of gotten it, but that's not a big criteria, but it is now, and that's really hard to get. So he said that's one of the reasons. Then what else did he say? There was something else very interesting, but yeah, that's the need that people have that they want fulfilled is very difficult. Exacerbated by, like we said, the way society is also. Yeah. Oh, actually, so the study also, if women earn more than $100,000, they are 50% of them do not have kids, even if they wanted to or not. So yeah, they feel like they can get their whole life, everything they needed that used to be from a partner. They can just buy it now from apps and services. So, the other thing, the last thing, women also, I guess, kind of don't see the value in having some relationships because their life usually deteriorates a little bit when they get married because they pick up a lot more of the cooking and cleaning, whereas men suffer a lot more if they stay single because women take on the cooking and cleaning for them, but also social relationships. Men don't really have social relationships nearly as well as women. So women get it, so they don't feel they need to date as much. Whereas men, they're more isolated and their personal and social relationships really suffer when they don't have relationships, but also their cooking and cleaning. So that's the other part of that article that just came out, CNBC. It was interesting. Sorry, that was a very windy answer, but I wanted to get all that data in there.
Well, I mean, even though things is hard right now in the state of dating, I do believe in marriage.
Yes.
But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to see that in the state that we're in right now. But
you brought up a good point. Like, I do wonder, because if people are interested, it was the Pew Research Center, which does really credible studies. This was 2022, where they said 60% of singles are not interested in dating at all, but another 30% are interested in their casual or committed. I wonder how many of them would really like a relationship, though. I mean, could that be 80%? I would say, I actually see that with my friends, like 60% do not want to date. They are not on the dating apps. They definitely were. They absolutely were. But they are not anymore because
Yeah.
the apps are not designed to work if you don't know how to use them, or even if you do know how to use them. So I do wonder, like, I obviously would like to also, and you said you do. I wonder if they would lump us into the people who are, you know, not the diehard committeds because it's difficult or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if more singles would want to, but
Hmm.
they get lumped into the not interested at all because they gave up. But I
Yeah.
wonder how many of them do believe in marriage. But it's hard. I mean, the numbers are not on the side of
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who want to get married.
Yeah. I know it's crazy, crazy. But closing remarks. Give us like an overview of every day that you taught us on this episode, and any day that we miss, you can mention it here.
Oh, thank you very much. So, the overview of the dating apps. So, there are 8 main ones, and then you have the social groups around eating and activities. You have the matchmaking. You have speed dating, and then you should just be going out to meet people in your interest groups or in your local area. But it's hard. It's hard. I mean, people are a little more isolated, and it is hard to. I would say it's even hard to make decent friends who you keep in touch with. So it's hard. It's daunting, because we're in the loneliness epidemic, or they actually call it. It was a cover story of The Atlantic. I used it in my TED Talk. It was called the antisocial century, and he said antisocial because we are choosing to be lonely. Like we are actively not going out to
Yeah.
eat. We are the people dining out alone has spiked. I don't know, a lot, like double digits, like 60% or something. And yeah, so we're choosing to, and that's how the pandemic and all the confluence of all the other and
Yeah.
technology and the apps and social media. That's just what it's come to. Um, I think that we have to make more effort to go out. I mean, there was have him at hello, how I used guerrilla marketing from my Harvard MBA to get my husband or something. That was an interesting book by Rachel Greenwald or something. And she said home should be a 4-letter word. And like Matthew Hussey said, you can always go home. He said you should go out every opportunity you can and force yourself. And he said, you can always go home. You have to be out because, and what I would say, if this is my part, dating apps are really inefficient. I mean, they're not showing you good matches, even if you're paid, but definitely if you're not paid. One by one swiping is so inefficient. I mean, a page of thumbnails would be so much better, but they're not designed to be that efficient. The parameters, they're good on things like Facebook dating, where they show you a pretty decent amount of like down to earth people. The settings reset without you knowing every time you close the app, or so now you see people 4 states away. Like it's not efficient, the process. And for that reason, and the fake profiles, and the old pictures and the lack of writing anything, so you can't really gauge. All of these reasons, you should have dating apps in your arsenal. You should devote, it's work, it's homework. You have to do like an hour or 2 a day if that's what you want. But you have to go out. It's hard though. And he said, and I did this for 2 weeks. And when I read his book, and he has 2 books, I read both of them. He really talks about it in his first book, like Get the Guy. It's called Get the Guy. It means like get the guy physically, but understand the guy. So it's like a double entendre. He said, you should talk to people everywhere you go. I mean, you should ask them for the time. People like to help you. That actually makes them like you more. You should get in the habit of doing that, because then you will be able to do it when you like someone. You should do it to everyone who you don't like. The last thing I will note that I think is really significant is Matthew Hussey's 4 stages of importance when you're dating and in relationships. And I'll just do it really quickly, but I think it's so important. And this is the only thing that he will make sure to say in every podcast guest that he does. And he only does podcast guesting for people like over millions of followers. So it's pretty significant that he will not let a podcast go without saying this. So it's in his last book, Love Life. It's the 4 stages that you have to have. So the first one, and this framework is just interesting to view everything through because he tells you where people get stuck and they overvalue, they put over too much importance on it on the wrong stages. In the context of how important it is to your life and your relationships. So the first is attraction, and admiration. So that could be from afar. And that would be the qualities that you deem attractive, but also what society deems attractive. Like, oh, he's so tall, he's so handsome, he's so rich. And everybody would be so impressed. And I would be too if I got him. The second is connection or chemistry. So it's mutual now. Like that's where it gets scary because that's where you let all your standards go because this is like a rare unicorn that you actually like, but they like you too. So chemistry and connection. The third is commitment. So you have all of those things and it's still not viable if they are willing to commit. He says, I don't mean commit Friday night at 10, like commit long term. And you have to know the difference. So are they willing to commit? And they cannot be a 1-day wager, like one day you will be ready to commit. So, yes, they have to be very clear about that. So the commitment. And then the last one is what he said, you will lose decades of your life to this compatibility. So love does not conquer all. He said it's not enough. It just isn't. You can have commitment and both be madly in love. And he doesn't mean compatible in every way, but the most important ways, because you won't be compatible in everything. But can they meet your basic needs? Do you want to live your life the same way? Do you want the same kind of vision for your life 5 to 10 years out? If you don't, like if one person's a homebody and the other is an adventurer and a pilot or whatnot, and you are going to be miserable. And a lot of people are stuck not having that fourth because they were not compatible, but they will stay together. So that those are the 4 stages. And I think it's really important because people put a lot of over importance on falling in love in the second stage and not getting the last 3 or even in the third stage or too little of the 4th stage. So it's just interesting. Yes.
Right. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
But before you go,
yes,
we will play a segment game. And the segment game is called the Face Off First Date Edition, where I ask you 2 choices, and you will see which one you will go for on the first date. I will join in on this with you, so you will not be alone in this.
Okay. I like playing games, so I've been talking so much, so I'm excited.
All right, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, the first one I'm gonna ask you is coffee date or ice cream date?
I feel like I love ice cream more, but I think coffee has a better feel to it. You know, they say that you enjoy the meal more and you value it more when you eat it on china and with a silverware. And I feel like the coffee date would do that. It's a little more elevated, it's a little more sophisticated.
Yeah.
I would personally like ice cream, but also ice cream, I'm too focused on the ice cream melting. And coffee, I feel like you could sit longer.
Yeah.
The ice cream will be done in 5 minutes and then it might get awkward. Mm-hmm. Unless you're walking. Yeah. So, yes.
All right, so I would pick coffee because you get to know the person, sit down, get to know the person longer. Even though I do love ice cream dates,
yes,
coffee is better because you get to interact more. So I'm gonna go with coffee.
Yes, exactly. And also, ice cream can get messy.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true too.
Yes,
yeah, that's true. Okay, next is restaurant or museum.
Well, I was a restaurant critic. I'm obsessed with restaurants. And Alan Richman, he was the restaurant critic for GQ, and I remember he said, "It's not the food. When you're a restaurant critic, it's everything: the ambiance, the music, the decor, and the food, and then the possibility of enjoying the company of the person across from you. The restaurant reviewing is all of those things. So for that reason, yeah." I went on some museum dates, and I'll say they were not fun because they keep trying to like look at every single exhibit and reading all and that's weird when you're, uh, activity dates are good, I think, but the
Yeah.
museum, if it's not interesting, that could get a little tough, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have like those really overpriced concession stands. So then,
Mhm.
like, if you were hungry, you're left with, and then you feel bad that you just ate like a $25 hot dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes.
Um, I would do both, but I would go with museum. I would go with restaurant first. I would do restaurant.
Hmm.
I would go with restaurant, but I would do restaurant then go to museum after. That's how I would.
Yes.
That's how I would do it.
Yes. I'm going to throw in another weird thing. Paying, that's like a very big topic. I would say the, I've been on a lot of dates in my lifetime, and I'm a little bit older, so I've been on a lot of dates. Um, there were 5 times in all of those dates where they've asked me to pay, which
Oh
look,
wow.
I don't mind paying. That's not my thing here. I don't even like, I was so late for a date once, I got him a gift card. Like on my way, I'm like, I'm so late already. I'm just gonna get him a gift card to Starbucks. Like, I do not mind paying, especially if I'm wrong. But if the guy asks, you should pick a place that you think you can pick up the whole thing.
Yeah.
I do not like when a girl orders way too much, because I know a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of guys tell me,
Yeah.
like, I can't even, I'm not even factoring that in because I can't even conceive of doing that. I always order less than the guy, less
Yeah.
money than the guy, and I don't drink. So that's might be an anomaly. But if you ask, you pick a place, you could pick Starbucks, but you pick a place where you are ready to pay for it. It could be a walking date. It could be a coffee date, but yeah, that's another thing, because that's,
Yeah.
people have really differing opinions about that. But yeah, I feel like the woman, they feel, if you ask them to pay, because some women want that, like, I don't know, equality wise, but I'm pretty old fashioned. I feel like as a woman, you feel like they didn't enjoy the date, and that's why they're asking you. That's what
Yeah.
and the other thing is, if a guy suggests dessert, the woman thinks that you had a good time. But
Yeah.
I know guys who just wanted dessert. They
Yeah.
didn't like the date. So
Mhm.
don't order dessert if you didn't have a good time. You got to give the woman a clue.
Yeah.
So yes. Okay.
All
Next.
right. Next one is bowling or pool.
Well, if you like the guy, cool, for obvious reasons, right? Because they can show you how to play. If bowling, I love bowling, but the ball is greasy and your hands, and like you lose a nail. I don't for that reason, I don't know if women would like it. I don't think I would like it. And then the bowling shoes, like, that gets complicated because I don't want to put that nasty shoe on.
Yeah.
I think pool for that reason, but I do love bowling.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
And
I would go with bowling. Bowling. Definitely.
bowling is fun. Bowling is definitely more fun.
Yeah.
Okay. But for a date, I think it's easier to be together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And last one,
Mhm.
comedy show or movie?
You know, I just got into Comedy Cellar in New York City, and it is so much fun. I think it's really fun to go to on a date, to Comedy Cellar, because they have surprise major comedians, and they're
Yeah.
known for that. And both times that I went, I had a major surprise, Louis C.K., and then I had Ray Romano. So that is really fun. Two, they can make fun of you, which is kind of fun. It breaks the ice because it's awkward, and
Yeah.
it's yeah. So I love that. Move. I'm not a big movie theater person. I feel like the movement and sometimes the popcorn smell makes me nauseous. The movie could be nice if you like them, but I think a comedy show could also be nice if you like them. Yes,
Yeah.
but I personally, without a date, with or without a date, a comedy show. So what about you?
Comedy show. I would do movie, not for the first date though. I'll do movie later. But comedy show definitely be perfect first date.
Yeah. Unless, I mean, I'm a girl, so just some advice for the guy. If it's like a rom-com or a romantic movie, that
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, but any kind of action, like, someone took me to see Batman in IMAX, and I got really nauseous. And it was a little much. Like I feel like you want to be calm, unless you love that stuff and you both love that stuff, but you want to be kind of calm and a nice state of mind. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And
Yeah.
Janie, thank you for coming to the show and thank you for sharing everything from dating and everything. Yeah, it was a good conversation and thank you for coming to the show, Janie.
Oh, thank you for listening to me. And I think everyone knows how to find me. I think you'll share that, right? So,
Yeah, do you think now? Do you think? Yeah.
oh, okay. Thank you. So I'm on all of them. I mean, that's what I talk about. Hopefully, the next show I could talk about my social and digital strategy for personal, business, and career goals. And it's basically your approach in optimizing all your static components in ways that most people don't think. So I'm on all of them, but my main four is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So I'm just Janie Ho, JANIEHO. It's just 7 letters. That you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn that way. I'm the one in New York because there actually are a few Janie Ho's. And then I think on Twitter and Instagram you could find me with just my first and last name. But I'm Janie Ho 16 on Twitter and Janie K Ho on Instagram. And that's where I would like to hear from people. Oh, by the way, for people, you should know that in some social apps, your DMs are not open to everyone, so you have to make it so. In the going back to dating, let it be the easiest way for people to contact you. Have all your DMs open. Make it a little known that you need people to say hello to you, and you never know who will. So, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you again, and be right back.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman. Now, I am the host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, and this commercial break is brought to you by Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spinoff Series Thursdays. And Spinoff Series Thursday is the new home for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Spinoff Series that brought to you shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast, The Old School Show, and Date Night Talk Podcast. And A Conversation About Music Podcast is a music spin-off series where we talk about anything music, from the current music scene and the old school music scene, where we interview many guests that's in the music industry and artists about their music journey. We have a segment game called The Face Off, which is a versus inspired game. And we have roundtable discussion about variety of music topics. And y'all can check out A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Every first Thursday at 12 a.m. Now, the Old School Show that featured myself and the star Roddy Rod is a show where we discuss anything old school, from music, TV shows, movies, and many more. We also bring in guests to join in on the old school conversation. Y'all can check out the Old School Show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. Every fourth Thursday at 12 a.m. And last but not least, we have Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B, where we talk about anything relationship related topics like love, dating, relationships, cheating, the good and the bad, and many more. And y'all can check out this spin-off series, Date Night Talk Podcast, every second and third Thursday at 12 p.m. So look out for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast presents Spin-Up Series Thursday, A Conversation About Music Podcast every first Thursday. The Old School Show with myself and the star Roddy Rod every fourth Thursdays, and Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Miss Vanna B every second and third Thursdays. And y'all can check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. And thank y'all for checking out this commercial break. And now back to your regularly scheduled program. True! I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in to the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Thank you to my special guest, Miss Janie Ho, for coming back on the show. It was a really fun conversation, having you on this episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And hopefully all y'all learned something from her about dating and many other things. And this won't be the last time I see Janie on the show. She will be back again on a future episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Once again, thank you, Janie, for coming back on the show. If you want to check out Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, check us out every Sundays for the main series and every Thursday for spin-off series Thursday, where we have shows like A Conversation About Music Podcast. New season coming in 2026 every first Thursday at 12 p.m. Date Night Talk Podcast with myself and Ms. Vanna B. New season returns in 2026 every second Thursday at 12 p.m. The Old School Show with myself and the Star Rider Ride. New season will be returning in 2026 and every fourth Thursday at 12 p.m. And look out for the newest spin-off series Thursday show, the Top 20 Character Show, the series with myself and Jalen. The series premiere will be in November and every third Thursday at 12 p.m. Also, look out for our other newest spin-off series Thursday show, Date Night Talk Stories, coming in 2026. If y'all like the conversation that I had with Janie on tonight's episode, you will love Date Night Talk Stories that come in 2026. And yeah, look out for all of the show coming on The Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast Presents Spin-off Series Thursday. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Goodpods, and many more. Y'all can rate the show 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Goodpods, Podchases. The more y'all rate, the more people know about Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Ken, a.k.a. Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Ken, a.k.a. Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. Where you can check out the audio version of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can check out the visual version of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast called Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. And you can check out Mr. Gentleman Facts quote of the day every Monday. So subscribe to the YouTube channel at Ken, a.k.a. Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. If you want to be guest on Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast, send me a bio about yourself and everything that you do to my email, kenypgent@gmail.com, or hit me up on social media, Ken_Mr. Gentleman. I repeat, Ken, Ken, _Mr. MR, Gentleman, GENTLEMAN. And we can set something that I do look for guests for the second half of season 9 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast and season 10 of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. You can also check me out on the Premiere Voice Podcast with myself, Aaron Kinto Sand, Star Rider Rod, and Lone Little Chief Mighty Mount. New season of the Premiere Voice Podcast coming in November, and every Wednesday a part of the Premiere Powerverse Network. Other shows you can check out in the Premiere Powerverse Network is King Talk with Aaron Sands, hosted by Aaron King Talk Sands. You can check out all episodes right now and look out for a newest show After Hours with Aaron Sands coming real soon. You should also check out all episodes of Star Time Podcast hosted by the Star Rider Ride on all podcast platforms right now. And look out for new episodes of Welcome to the Trilogy hosted by Lone Little Chief Mighty Mel coming soon. Listen and support every show in the Premiere Podverse. And at this time, It's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for the gentlemen like the shout outs. Well, we shout outs 4 to 5 shows and we give them their flowers. Last week, we shouted the 4 shows last week. Shout out in Seattle, the Chasing Happy podcast, All Confidential, and the Latest Pitch podcast. Check out the 4 shows that we shout out last week on Mr. Gentleman Like That Shout Out. And this week, we got 4 new shows that we will be shouting out. And the first show that we're going to shout out is Back to Reality podcast, hosted by Iman and Yvonne, 2 sisters that bonding over the eventful times, the conversation, and constant laugh. I had a show on my listen list for a very long time, and I started really listening to it now. It's a really good show. I love their chemistry. I love that they share a lot of personal stories about life, relationships, and many more. And yeah, check out Back to Reality podcast. So far, I believe it's on Spotify, but check out this podcast show. It's a really good show. Check them out. The next show that y'all should check out is Dune Generation podcast, hosted by Nicole and Tez. And Dune Generation are 2 best friends who share one brain cell and get in her each week and discuss movies that made them the dawn of Doom. And on this show, they review many old school movies. And I ain't gonna lie, they do a really good job reviewing these movies. But one thing they're also gonna do, they're gonna make you laugh. Because they make me laugh every time I listen to the show. And they are really great at doing this. And y'all should check out Dune Generation podcast. Really good show. Not only you will learn something on the show, they will also make you laugh. So check out Dune Generation podcast. Another show that you will also not only learn something and they will also make you laugh is the Funny Medicine podcast, hosted by Yvonne and Julie. And they are 2 science-loving besties who break down medical mysteries, health phase, and the weirdest wellness twins with sarcastic. Each week they dissect trending health topics, viral medical news, and those weird could be true medical cases. And this is a really good show as well. Not only that, I learned a lot by listening to the show because they really dive deep to a lot of stuff, with medicine and stuff like that. They also make you laugh too, and they are a really funny pair. So also check out the Funny Medicine podcast. Really good show as well. And last show that we're going to shout out is Dating Will Be the Death of Me, hosted by Amanda. And on the show, it pretty much talk about her dating experiences. And she also interviewed guests, talk about dating experiences. Shout out to the star writer, Rod, who was on one episode of Dating Will Be the Death of Me. This is a really good show. I've always been a fan of the show. She dived into many of her stories. And her stories really draw me in. It's a really good show. I'm happy that, she have a happy ending right now, so shout out to her on that. But I do wish she put out more episodes so she can share more stories and also get a chance that I get on the show. She was also on season 5 of Mr. Gentleman Like That podcast. So, even though she haven't put out no new episodes in a while, check out Date Will Be the Death of Me. Do a great show, great title, and show her some love. And check out the 4 show that I shout out on this week. Mr. Gentleman Like That shout outs. Back to Reality podcast, Dune Generation podcast, Funny Medicine podcast, and They Will Be the Death of Me. And that is this week with the Gentleman Lifestyle Shoutouts. True! And of course, add me on Good Pods, Ken, Mr. Gentleman. Y'all already know Good Podcast, the many independent podcasters. You see where everybody listens to. We can rate each other's shows, and we have the charts. And at the time for Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Achievements, where we spotlight everything Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast is doing. And of course, we had the Kappa charts for top 100 shows. We are number 10 on the number charts, and we are number 3 for the indie charts for exciting culture. We are number 2 on the number charts. We are number 1 on the indie charts. We've been number 1 for 11 days. For Personal Journal, we are through number 1, and we've been number 1 for 11 days. Of course, y'all. Thank you to everybody who's been listening to Mr. Gentleman Like That Podcast on Good Pods. Really means a lot, and continue to show love on Good Pods so we can continue to grow this platform. And thank you for listening to Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast on all podcast platforms. Really, really means a lot. And thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. And of course, check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlikethepodcast.com. You can check out every episode of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, all 258 episodes of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. You can check out every guest who's been on Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, or every 3 guests who've been on Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, all 83 guests who've been on Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. You can check out every video of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. You can check out every guest appearance that I've been on from Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. More guest appearances coming real soon, so look out for that. And check out the official merch store of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, www.mrgentlemanlikethepodcaststore.dasher.com, where we have shirts, we have hoodies, because it is getting cold outside, so get your hoodies now. You have hats, you have mugs, and many more. Support the official merch store so we upgrade your listening experiences. So check out the official merch store of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, www.mrgentlemanlikethepodcaststore.dasher.com, or you can also buy me coffee through the website. So just go on the website and you can buy me coffee. That's another way to support Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Or you could just listen, share, tell a friend, get us on the chart. There's also a way to support Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. And check out the official website of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast, www.realmrgentlemanlikethepodcast.com. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning into this latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. You know, it really means a lot. And once again, thank you. And continue to support Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. You can check out Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast every Sunday for the main series, every Thursday for spin-off series Thursdays. Next week, we have another new episode of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. And yeah, also next week, the series premiere of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast presents the Top 20 Countdown Show. The series, myself and Jalen, also will be premiering next week, so look out for that. And yeah, and thank you again for listening to the latest episode of Mr. Gentleman Like the Podcast. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode.
Hi, this is Amanda from Dating Will Be the Death of Me, and you are listening to Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast.